Greetings, fellow Star Trek Starship Collector. This is Joshua Mitchell. We're here this month with the 11th episode from Fanhome, the official Starships collection for Star Trek. This month we have the U.S.S. Archer, NCC 627, as seen from the series premiere of Strange New Worlds. So as usual, we'll open it up and take a deep dive look into the details of the ship, what's in the little booklet that shows us the design of the vessel and how it compares size-wise to some of Fanhome's other ships from Strange New Worlds and from some of their other series. So come on back and let's get started. Okay, so let's get into our unboxing and see what the U.S.S. Archer looks like. It's a smaller vessel in Season 1 of Strange New Worlds, so no, it won't match to scale with some of the other ships, but it will be interesting to find out what it looks like up close and personal. Okay, so of course, we have to start where we always do, which is with our little design document information about the ship. So let's dive in and learn a little bit more about the U.S.S. Archer. The U.S.S. Archer, presumably named after Jonathan Archer, is a small Graal-class vessel. At one deck, with a crew complement of 3, this starship is warp-capable and was designed for longer-term exploration and reconnaissance missions, along with engineering support. The class of the vessel wasn't determined until the booklet for this ship was produced, being named after the Tellarite ambassador from Star Trek Enterprise. The ship was made to be instantly recognizable as a Federation starship and went through many iterations of design. While some early versions of the ship had a hoop look, like older Vulcan vessels, this idea was ultimately scrapped for the Archer. However, it did come back and served as inspiration for the curved nacelle pylons found on the U.S.S. Farragut. The goal was to make sure that the Archer looked less powerful, but still matched the aesthetic of the Enterprise. When considering the scale, as you can see in the last image, the ship is considerably smaller than the U.S.S. Enterprise. Okay, all right, so there we go. Interesting to see how it was designed, how it compares in size to the actual Enterprise. Very small, one deck, tiny little ship, but let's take a look now and see how she looks in the box. So here we have our U.S.S. Archer in there, nice and tight, packed up well, as we can see. Okay, now let's take her out for a little spin. Got some nice heft to her. Because all of the die-cast metal is up there in the top part of the saucer section. Very simplistic in its look from the top. Some nice details, though, especially as you begin to look at the bottom. Now, that's where you can kind of see more of the interesting details, but just a single nacelle ship with some cool, interesting little elements. So, all right, instead of me just talking about it, why don't we take a look at it? We'll get up-close personal pics with the ship itself, see how it compares to some of the other models. Let's go. So here we've got the dorsal side of the Archer. We can see her call sign here and then the call lights on the side. Nice Aztecing, no real bridge module since it's just one deck, but simplistic, nice enough details for what's going on the top, which is to say not much. Then we kind of take a look here at the warp nacelle from the dorsal side, and it looks fine. But the details really on the ventral side of the ship. Again, the Aztecing, we had the large bridge window up there. Here we see the call sign and the deflector dish, the blue clear acrylic on the Bassard collector with the little antenna pin coming out. The nice impulse engines, we can see how well they're highlighted here. It looks very bright. And of course, further details we go down towards the grill of the warp nacelle. Decided to take a side view of this too. This is going to be from the port side of the ship. Taking a look at it upside down in the stand, just because I thought, you know, it gives you a good look at some of the details again of the warp nacelle, some of the details that's going on here in the little neck that's holding the nacelle to the saucer section, and you can get a good look at the deflector dish there as well. We'll start our size comparison first looking at the U.S.S. Enterprise. This is from Eaglemoss, the standard edition. She's coming in at 8¼ inches or 20.96 centimeters. The Archer is coming in at 7½ inches or 19.05 centimeters. So a difference there between the two, but now we'll look at something that's much more similar. So here we've got the Archer at 7½ inches or 19.05 centimeters. And she's comparing next to the U.S.S. Farragut, 7 1/8 inches or 18.1 centimeters. So much closer. As you can see, the Archer edges are out just a bit because of that warp nacelle that juts out of the back. Now, we'll take a look at our XL Enterprise G against the U.S.S. Archer. Huge difference here. The U.S.S. Archer coming in at 7 1/2 inches or 19.05 centimeters. The U.S.S. Enterprise is 10 1/2 inches or 26.67 centimeters. So again, much larger difference here between the regular and the XL edition. So there we have it. The U.S.S. Archer NCC 627 seen from the series premiere, Season 1 of Strange New Worlds. A small ship, a crew of 3, very tiny in comparison to the Enterprise. So obviously not into scale with the vessels that we see from either from the Discovery Enterprise back from Eaglemoss or with the Fanhome Farragut. But still, if you're looking to add to Strange New Worlds, it's a nice addition to the collection. It's a good-looking ship. She's got nice detailing on the top with the Aztecing, with some of the other minor details. You flip her over, and that's where you really get to see more, like with the detailing on the warp nacelle, the blue acrylic on the Bassard collector, and then the little needle pointing out, which is very evocative of the Enterprise engines from the Cage. That also had that. And of course, she's got some great detail underneath, like with the deflector dish. And so, yeah, it's a nice model. I do wish it could somehow be to scale, but that would mean that these ships would be huge, or this ship would be very tiny. So, just isn't going to happen. What do you think of the USS Archer? Do you want it in your collection? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, come back next month. Next month's very exciting. We're going to be looking at the next XL model from Fanhome. We'll be taking a look at the Lamar class USS Voyager, NCC 74656A, as seen in Star Trek Prodigy Season 2. Again, if you haven't seen Prodigy, you're missing out. You should do yourself a favor and go watch Star Trek Prodigy, please. But come on back and we'll take a deep dive into the XL Voyager A and see how it matches up, how it looks close up in detail. So thank you so much for joining. Hope you can come back next month. In the meantime, I'm Joshua Mitchell. Live long and prosper.